Dana White just dropped a huge update on the futures of Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland, and it looks like a rematch is getting more real by the day. White has confirmed that Khamzat is actively pushing for the rematch with Strickland, making it clear his current priority is unfinished business at middleweight. What makes this especially interesting is that right after the Strickland fight, Khamzat had told Dana he was ready to move up to light heavyweight. But just weeks later, that plan appears to have been shelved, with the Chechen now zeroing in on the rematch instead. This story gets even heavier with recent comments from TJ Dillashaw, who shed some light on just how brutal Khamzat's weight cut actually was. Dillashaw claimed Khamzat was in rough shape heading into the weigh-ins, reportedly vomiting green bile, and that the cut could have easily become life-threatening. Yet despite all of that, Khamzat still pushed a pace and cardio output that left people impressed throughout the fight. Let's hear it straight from Dana.
Couple questions for my son. He wants to know, is Chimaev going up to light heavyweight? And I want to know, I think it was just announced McGregor's coming back.
McGregor is coming back. International Fight Week in Vegas.
Go ahead.
So, what's the date on that fight? Fucking July 11th. Okay. Saturday, July 11th, McGregor versus Holloway in Vegas, International Fight Week. And Khamzat right now is asking for the rematch with Strickland. That's what he wants. We don't know what we're going to do yet.
So you make that decision at some point?
Yeah.
You'll just, okay.
Yeah.
Does Strickland want it?
Strickland will fight anybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing I respect about him. He's not running from anybody.
No.
All right.
Colby Covington has finally spoken out since calling it quits in MMA. In a recent interview, Colby made it clear he will not be returning to the sport, saying it's a matter of respect for the UFC and that his competitive focus has completely shifted to wrestling through the RAF promotion. He also laid out his wish list of opponents going forward, calling out several big names he wants to test himself against under wrestling rules. One of those names was Khamzat Chimaev, which creates an odd but genuinely intriguing storyline given everything going on in Khamzat's schedule right now. Before any of that happens, Khamzat is set to face Dylan Danis in a matchup that's raised plenty of eyebrows across the MMA community, many of whom are questioning whether Danis even has a realistic shot. The bout is strictly wrestling with no submissions allowed, which is a major detail. Danis built his reputation on elite jiu-jitsu, and stripping that away removes his biggest weapon entirely, leaving the grappling gap as the central storyline. Khamzat has already dropped training footage showing a heavy emphasis on wrestling prep, so it's clear he's taking the challenge seriously. Here's what Colby had to say.
So number one is a countryman of your country, Georges St. Pierre.
Oh, yes, I forgot about it.
Nothing's ever going to substitute him. He's the GOAT of the UFC, the GOAT of the welterweight division. So, of course, I want Georges St. Pierre. I want to see him back on that mat. I know the fans want to see him. We love him. I love him. Everybody respects him. So, would love to see GSP number one. Number two, probably Arman. He's talked a lot of smack and ran his mouth and said this and that. So, love to see Arman. Khamzat, number three. Actually, you know what? Number three would be Usman. This trilogy needs to happen. We have unfinished business from, our UFC days. And, I know I'm a better athlete than him. So I want to prove it. I want to prove the test of time that I'm a better athlete and a better winner. So Usman, number three, Khamzat, number four. And then number five, maybe that cross-eyed dildo, what's his name? Bilal Muhammad.
Joe Rogan recently sat down with legendary MMA referee Big John McCarthy and former fighter Josh Thompson, and the conversation took a sharp turn toward Power Slap, Dana White's slap fighting promotion. None of them held back. The three of them questioned both the safety of the format and how it's structured competitively. Their main criticism centered on the lack of defense, the fact that fighters just stand there and absorb shots with no ability to react, slip, or counter in real time. Rogan echoed the same sentiment, and together the conversation essentially painted Power Slap as more of a spectacle than a legitimate combat sport.
Doing this oh, what does John McCarthy think he's doing? Now he's writing rules for that.
Did you write the rules for slap fights?
No, I don't like slap fights. I hate those. But so
you can't defend yourself. That's it. That's the only fucking rule.
Dumbest thing ever. So
crazy.
Have you seen the other where they just run at each other?
Oh, that's even worse. They're like, hold my beer.
God,
yeah.
You think slap fighting's retarded? Hold my beer. We're just going to run at each other.
And that's what it's called. Run it. Right? Those things are crazy.
It's crazy.
But the whole thing with, the Mike Perry thing is, trying to get athletic commissions to start to understand, because they're all into this thing. Joe, it's like,
Dana White has since fired back, and he didn't soften anything. He dismissed the criticism from Rogan and the media entirely, essentially saying the numbers speak for themselves, pointing out that the deal he just closed for Power Slap is bigger than the original UFC deal with Spike TV after season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. His message was simple: the audience is there, the business is working, and outside opinions don't factor in. Let's hear Dana's response.
Who probably envisioned it working in the bigs, some good, some bad, a lot of, publicity, negative, your own issues as well. How is this playing forward into the next season? We saw promotions of it on there.
It's been incredible. So when you see Joe Rogan on camera talking about the power slap, the deal that I just cut for slap is bigger than the UFC deal we cut with Spike TV after the first season of The Ultimate Fighter. I don't give a shit what the media says about it. They don't matter.
Joe Lopez has just confirmed that Movsar Evloev is most likely the next challenger for the featherweight title, and in his view, that is absolutely the right call. Lopez admitted he would be perfectly happy if Alex retired today and walked away at the top of the game. But despite everything Volkanovski has accomplished, his coach says the hunger and motivation are still completely intact, the same drive that turned him into one of the greatest featherweights in UFC history. According to Lopez, Volkanovski remains laser-focused and fully committed to competing at the highest level. The champion has built a reputation for fairness, always taking on the most deserving contenders and never shying away from a challenge. Evloev is undefeated and widely considered the rightful next challenger in the division. But not everybody sees it that way. Yusuf Zalal made some eyebrow-raising comments claiming the only reason Volkanovski wants to fight Evloev is because he views him as one-dimensional and a favorable stylistic matchup. Zalal even went as far as suggesting that Volkanovski is actually scared to fight him. Unsurprisingly, that take was met with heavy criticism from fans, with many calling it flat-out delusional. Let's get into exactly what Volkanovski's coach had to say.
Movsar is the one that deserves the shot. He has been waiting for a long time. I have a lot of respect for Diego Lopez, but honestly, Movsar should have had this opportunity before him because he has been #1 for a long time. I believe that Movsar is next. He definitely should be. Alex suffered an injury to his shoulder about 6 weeks before the fight against Diego. Alex didn't go into the fight at 100%, he went in at 80%. Because the shoulder wasn't 100%, he had to rely on his striking. About Arman Sarukian's potential move to featherweight, I don't think it is a possibility that he can drop to 145 pounds, and I don't think that happens. About Ilia Topuria, if the opportunity ever comes up, Alex would be 100% down for it. But the Volkanovski that fought him back then wasn't the same fighter. That wasn't the version of him you see now. He's different. If it happens again, and it would likely be at lightweight, it's a completely different fight. Alex would definitely be open to it, but obviously the chances of it happening are low.
Paulo Costa isn't holding back when it comes to Khamzat Chimaev, and his take is brutal. After Chimaev's title fight loss to Sean Strickland, Costa says Khamzat is in the worst position of his career. His exact words: "He's broken already. His mindset is very fragile." Costa went on to say the online criticism is relentless right now, and it's not easy for any fighter to handle that kind of heat from the internet. And the big question everyone's asking, will Chimaev even come back? Costa says he doesn't even know when Boers returns, or if he returns at all. But here's where it gets really spicy. Reports are circulating that Chimaev wants a rematch with Strickland, and Costa thinks that's a terrible idea. He flat out said if that fight happens, Strickland will beat him easier the second time around. The first fight already exposed him mentally, and Costa believes that damage only gets worse. Broken mindset, internet fire, and a potential rematch that could go even worse for Khamzat. The Boers era may be more fragile than we thought.
He's broke already. I think his mindset is very fragile. I think he's on the worst position he have been. You know, it's not easy to hand off with all this criticism. People about you. The internet is a crazy place to be right now on his position. So I don't think they're gonna put me to fight him next. I don't even know when he'll be back or if he will be back.
He wants to fight Sean again. Do you think in a rematch Sean Strickland beats him again after what you saw in the first fight?
I think gonna be even worse for Chimaev.
Why do you think that?
I think Strickland gonna beat him back on easier than he did.
That's it from MMA Time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA updates.